Have you ever wondered what truly lies behind the perfect mask of a narcissist? Beneath that confident smile, that captivating charm, what is really there? Are they truly emotionless, cold, incapable of feeling pain? Or is there, deep inside, a silent battle raging, filled with anxiety, emptiness, and shame that even they dare not face? In today's video, we're going to peel back the deepest layers of narcissistic psychology to understand the hidden motives, the buried wounds, and why they continuously manipulate, control, and break down the relationships around them. But this isn't just about understanding them. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional vortex they create. You're about to discover why a narcissist doesn't feel guilt yet always lives in anxiety and insecurity, why they transfer their shame onto others, and why control matters more to them than genuine connection. Stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you perceive a narcissist and, more importantly, help you reclaim control over your own emotions. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you can continue to join me on this journey of decoding psychology, healing, and recovery from narcissistic abuse, where the truth is revealed and you take back your power. Behind that confident mask, the narcissist lives in a world of contradictions and chaos. Outwardly, they seem in control, strong, decisive, always the one steering the ship. But inside, there is a dark, restless abyss, a pit of anxiety, emptiness, and deep insecurity. Strangely enough, they don't feel guilt the way most people do. When they hurt others, they don't stop to reflect or feel remorse. Instead, they sink into fear. Fear that the perfect mask they've crafted will crumble, that the truth inside them will be exposed. And that is their greatest nightmare. They manipulate not because they hate you, but because they fear you seeing their true self. In the mind of a narcissist, genuine connection, where two souls meet in vulnerability and authenticity, is the greatest threat. Because to truly connect, they would have to remove the mask, confront the deep-seated shame they've hidden all their lives. And that's something they cannot do. Instead of embracing that vulnerability, they choose control, because control allows them to keep distance, to shield themselves from anyone who might glimpse their imperfection. They create emotional chaos within you, making you doubt yourself, so they never have to confront the truth about themselves. They use tactics like gaslighting, psychological warfare, silent treatments, all designed to ensure you remain the weak one. You are always wrong, while they maintain power and dominance in the relationship. They manipulate not merely to control you, but to escape the unbearable shame within themselves. You see, for them, control is survival, while true connection is psychological death. If someone comes too close, touching an unhealed wound from their past, they will attack or withdraw because they cannot bear to be vulnerable. They fear exposure so much that they're willing to destroy any relationship as long as they can preserve that fragile mask. Once you understand this inner vortex, you realize the problem was never you. You were never wrong to love them, but they were never ready for genuine connection, because that would require them to shed the armor they've clung to their entire lives. But the story doesn't end there. When a narcissist can't face their own shame, they don't just run from it, they transfer that burden onto others. That's why after every argument, you're the one feeling guilty, you're the one apologizing, even though deep down, you know they were the one who caused the hurt. This is the cycle of shame and avoidance, a loop they create to shield themselves from internal collapse. They do not process their own shame. Instead, they transfer it to you. When you cry, when you apologize, when you desperately try to fix something, they feel relieved because you have absorbed the emotions they cannot bear. They speak hurtful words, commit cruel actions, but rather than reflect on the behavior, they blame you, making you carry their shame and pain, and so the cycle repeats. The narcissist harms, avoids accountability, transfers the pain, and continues the loop. They never pause to feel the consequences of their actions, because if they did, they would have to face the truth of who they are, and that terrifies them more than anything. And you, the one who loves them, the one who longs to connect with them, become trapped in this cycle. This is why letting go becomes liberation. Because when you step away from the manipulative relationship, you not only free yourself, but you return to them the emotions that rightfully belong to them. You stop carrying their shame, and you begin to care for your own soul. You cannot heal the narcissists. The only healing you can do is for yourself, because when you try to fix them, you place yourself in the center of their manipulative storm, where they continue to offload their negative emotions onto you to keep their mask intact. But when you walk away, when you say enough, you don't just free yourself, you break the toxic cycle. You hand back to them the responsibility for their own feelings and actions, whether they accept it or not. And that is when their power begins to crumble. They can only manipulate when you continue to play by their rules. Once you stop reacting, stop carrying the shame that isn't yours, they have nowhere left to project those emotions. And that's when the mask they've so carefully preserved begins to crack. When you leave, it's not just the end of a relationship, it is the rebirth of yourself, a journey back to who you truly are after years of manipulation, suffocation, and dimming of your inner light. The narcissist made you believe you were small, that you were at fault, that you weren't enough. But the truth is, they transferred their emotional burdens onto you. When you walk away, you don't just reclaim your space, you reclaim your soul, piece by piece. Healing doesn't happen overnight. After the wounds, you may feel empty, confused, even lonely, because for so long, you were trapped in the roles they assigned you. They made you forget who you are, forget your own worth. But step by step, you will relearn how to listen to yourself. You will begin to recognize the true voice within, separate from the echoes of their manipulation. You will relearn to trust your intuition, to set boundaries, to say no, and to choose what you deserve. Freedom doesn't come without pain. It is a process of walking through the hurt, facing the broken pieces within, and rebuilding from the ground up. But this time, you rebuild not to please anyone, not to hold on to a toxic relationship. This time, you rebuild to become yourself. Stronger, wiser, and no longer easily manipulated. Remember, the narcissist doesn't hold ultimate power over you. That power always belonged to you, just waiting for you to reclaim it. When you stop playing their game, when you step out of the manipulative cycle, you begin to break a toxic pattern, not just for yourself, but for future generations, for those who witness your journey. And one day when you look back, you will no longer see yourself as a victim, but as a survivor, and more than that, as a victor. You won't just survive narcissistic abuse, you will rise from the ashes, stronger and more radiant than ever. Leaving a relationship with a narcissist is like stepping out of a dark room where you've been locked away so long that you've forgotten what light feels like. When that door closes, the first thing you feel isn't freedom, it's a terrifying emptiness. You look around, there's no one pulling your emotional strings anymore, no one manipulating you, but you also don't know who you really are. That is the loneliness after liberation. And it is completely normal because throughout the manipulation, you were forced to react, to adapt, to bend yourself to the waves of someone else's emotions. You learned how to appease them, to heal their wounds, but you abandoned yourself. So when you leave, you must relearn how to listen to yourself. Something that seems simple, but is incredibly challenging after years trapped in their cycle. Healing begins with silence, not the cold silence of control, but the gentle stillness of returning to yourself. Allow yourself to cry, to feel anger, to feel lost. Don't rush to dismiss these emotions. They are the truest voice within you after being suffocated for so long. And then, little by little, you start asking yourself the real questions. What do I truly want? What do I need to feel safe, to feel aligned with my true self? Where must I set boundaries so no one ever crosses them again? Rebuilding yourself is not about returning to who you were before. It's about becoming the version of yourself that was never distorted by manipulation. It's about relearning to trust your intuition, to believe in your worth, and knowing that you don't need anyone else to validate that. You don't need to be strong immediately, but you do need to be persistent, because every small step you take today, whether it's simply getting enough sleep, saying no to things that make you uncomfortable, or giving yourself permission to rest, is a declaration of your worth. Every small step is another nail in the arc of your salvation, the vessel that carries you away from the seas of manipulation and into the skies of freedom. You might feel alone on this journey, but remember, you are not. Millions of others have walked away from these painful relationships, stumbled, risen, and become stronger than ever. And so will you. You are not a victim. You are the one who dared to step out of the darkness, who demanded to reclaim the light in your life. You might have thought they were the ones who left you, the ones who controlled the story. But the truth is, they never wanted you to wake up and walk away. That shatters the script they so carefully constructed. As long as you stayed, reacted, tried to understand them, carried their emotions, they maintain control. But when you withdraw in silence, when you stop playing by their rules, that's when they face their deepest fear. No one left to blame. No one left to manipulate. No one to reflect their distorted self back at them. Your presence was the mirror for the mask they wore, but your absence is a raw, unfiltered mirror forcing them to see their own cracks. To them, you're not just the one who left. You are the one who broke the cycle. You are the living proof that they can't control everything. And that shakes the very foundation of the distorted world they've built. They may pretend not to care. They may quickly move on to a new supply trying to show they're fine, but you are the fracture that never heals. Because you dared to walk away from the game they thought you'd always be trapped in. They fear your freedom. They fear when you no longer react as expected, when you rediscover your worth, when you thrive without them. Because that proves their power was always an illusion, that their mask no longer works on you. And beneath all their silence or anger, there is often a quiet panic, because they no longer have anyone to control, no one to uphold the mask they so desperately cling to. Your withdrawal is the first crack, the undeniable reminder that they are not invincible. Remember, walking away is not failure. Walking away is strength. Walking away is a silent declaration that you deserve more than what they try to make you believe. Your silence, your peace is something they will never control. And that is the truest justice for the wounds you've endured. Always remember this. Your freedom is something they can never control. Your decision to walk away is not just leaving a toxic relationship. It's declaring that you are no longer anyone's victim, but your own hero. It is rebirth, a journey back to your authentic self, where you no longer carry the shame of others, where you are worthy of love that is whole and genuine. They may forget you on the surface, but they will forever be haunted by the strength you've reclaimed, a power they can neither manipulate nor possess. And you will continue walking forward, not for revenge, but to live a life of freedom and peace, no longer bound by their game. If this message resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Where are you on this journey? Have you walked away or are you still struggling? Your story might inspire someone else. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos where we'll continue to decode narcissistic psychology, empower your healing journey, and help you build a life free from manipulation. Believe in your worth, walk away, and never look back.